Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. Seneca. Imagine you are on a boat, sailing across the ocean. The sun is shining, the wind is blowing, and you are enjoying the tranquility of the sea. But then a storm hits. The waves crash over the boat, the wind rips at the sails, and you are thrown overboard. You struggle to stay afloat, but the waves are too strong. You are exhausted and terrified. Just when you think you are about to drown, you feel something solid beneath your feet. You have reached an island. You are alone, stranded on a deserted island. You have no food, no water, and no shelter. You are surrounded by the vastness of the ocean, and there is no sign of civilization anywhere. What would you do? Most people would feel hopeless and despairing in this situation. But what if you were a Stoic philosopher? Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life, regardless of our circumstances. The Stoics believed that everything that happens to us is predetermined, and that we should accept our fate with grace and dignity. So what would a Stoic philosopher do if they were stranded on a deserted island? Predestination is a key concept in Stoicism. It is the belief that everything that happens is predetermined by fate. This may seem like a depressing idea, but Stoics actually view it as liberating. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we can stop worrying and start focusing on what we can control: our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. This video tells the story of a Stoic philosopher who was shipwrecked on a deserted island. The philosopher was initially distraught, but he soon realized that he had everything he needed to survive. He also had his Stoic training to help him cope with the situation. The Stoic philosopher was overwrought when he was shipwrecked on the deserted island. He had lost everything he owned, and he was alone and isolated. He also feared that he would die on the island. The philosopher knew that he had to find a way to cope with his situation, or he would not survive. He began by taking a deep breath and assessing the situation. The philosopher soon realized that he had to accept his fate. He knew that he could not change what had happened, but he could control his reaction to it. He decided to focus on the things that he could control, such as his own thoughts and emotions. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. The philosopher's Stoic training helped him to cope with the situation in a number of ways. First, it taught him to accept that some things are beyond his control. Second, it taught him to focus on the present moment and to let go of the past and the future. Third, it taught him to be grateful for the things that he did have, even if they were few. The philosopher also used his Stoic training to develop a positive attitude. He knew that he could not change his circumstances, but he could choose how to react to them. He decided to focus on the positive aspects of the situation, such as the fact that he was alive and that he had the opportunity to start a new life. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. The philosopher's life on the island was simple but fulfilling. He spent his days gathering food, building a shelter, and taking care of his basic needs. He also spent a lot of time meditating and reflecting on life. The philosopher realized that he did not need much to be happy. He had all the basic necessities of life, and he had his own thoughts and emotions. He also had the opportunity to learn and grow as a person. The philosopher's time on the island transformed him into a wise and compassionate teacher. He learned to appreciate the simple things in life, and he learned to be content with his lot. He also learned to be more compassionate and understanding towards others. The philosopher also learned to forgive himself for his past mistakes. He realized that everyone makes mistakes, and that it is important to learn from them and move on. One day, a ship landed on the island. The philosopher was rescued and returned home, but he was not the same person who had left. He had been transformed by his experience on the island. A man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. Seneca. The story of the shipwrecked Stoic philosopher is a powerful one. It teaches us that we can overcome even the most difficult challenges if we have the right mindset. It also teaches us that everything that happens to us is for a reason, even if we cannot see it at the time. The philosopher's Stoic training helped him to cope with his situation in several ways. First, the Stoics believed that everything that happens to us is predetermined. This means that the philosopher knew that the shipwreck was not a punishment, but an event that was meant to happen. This realization helped the philosopher to accept his fate with grace and dignity. Second, the Stoics believed that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot control. The philosopher knew that he could not control the fact that he was shipwrecked, but he could control his own thoughts and emotions. He also knew that he could control his actions, so the philosopher focused on what he could control and he let go of what he could not control. Third, the Stoics believed that we should appreciate the simple things in life. The philosopher realized that he did not need much to be happy. He had all the basic necessities of life, and he had his own thoughts and emotions. He also had the opportunity to learn and grow as a person. The philosopher's time on the island transformed him. He learned to accept his fate, to appreciate the simple things in life, and to be compassionate and understanding towards others. The story of the shipwrecked Stoic philosopher is relevant to our own lives because we all face challenges from time to time. We may not be shipwrecked on a deserted island, but we may experience difficult events such as job loss, illness, or the death of a loved one. When we face challenges, we can choose to react with despair or with Stoic acceptance. If we choose to accept our fate, we will be able to cope with the situation more effectively. We will also be able to learn from our experience and grow as a person. Here are some specific ways that we can apply the philosopher's teachings to our own lives. Focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot control. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control our own thoughts, emotions, and actions. Accept our fate with grace and dignity. This does not mean that we have to like what is happening to us, but it does mean that we should avoid becoming bitter and resentful. Appreciate the simple things in life. We do not need a lot of material possessions to be happy. The most important things in life are our relationships with others, our health, and our opportunity to learn and grow. Be compassionate and understanding towards others. Everyone is going through something difficult. We should be kind and supportive of others, even when they are not being kind to us. The story of the shipwrecked Stoic philosopher is a reminder that we are all capable of overcoming even the most difficult challenges. If we have the right mindset, we can find meaning and purpose in even the most difficult situations. I encourage you to reflect on the story of the shipwrecked Stoic philosopher and think about how you can apply his teachings to your own life. What are some of the challenges that you are facing right now? How can you focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot control? How can you accept your fate with grace and dignity? How can you appreciate the simple things in life? How can you be more compassionate and understanding towards others? Remember, you have the power to choose your own destiny. You can choose to live a life of despair, or you can choose to live a life of virtue and meaning. The choice is yours. Focus on making the most of your own abilities and accept whatever else comes your way with grace. Understand that there are things you can influence and things you can't. Your thoughts, goals, desires, and dislikes fall under your command, and that's where your efforts should be invested. On the other hand, your physical health, possessions, reputation, and social standing are beyond your direct control and are subject to circumstances. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to my channel for more videos about Stoicism and philosophy. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the story of the shipwrecked Stoic philosopher. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you learned from his story and how you plan to apply it to your own life. Thank you for watching and see you next time.